up, everybody? It's Conklin. Thanks for watching the videos. We've got Dan, guitarist from Disturbed, with us. The first date of the Rockstar Energy Drink Mayhem Festival. First thing I wanted to ask you has been put on hold. We were driving in our fleet of vans that somehow worked out, and I saw Dave walking a bunch of dogs. Not exactly the type of dogs that I thought Dave would have.
Well, yeah. Well, his dog's a big one. He adopted two from his fiance as well. So hers are the little ones. He's got the big Akita that's like a 90-pound or 100-pound dog. So that thing's huge. But yeah, you'll catch him many times walking all three of them out.
I thought it may have something to do with the new fiance and all that stuff. What is it about San Bernardino that says, hey, start a rock festival here? It seems Ozzy always kicks off Ozfest here. This is the second year in a row. I'm not sure if it's happened before this, but the Mayhem Fest has kicked off. What is it about San Bernardino?
It's more of the booking agent and the promoter. Maybe because it's easier for the promoter since he's from here to hop on the bus and then head east. We had the far flight over from Chicago, but hey, it's great. It always starts out on a big note. Big audience, big crowd, and we're looking forward to it. We're going to tear it up this year.
Now, audiences and crowds, how do the audiences compare to those in Europe? Because you guys are just coming back from Europe a couple weeks ago.
They're intense. I love our American fan base. Not saying anything bad, but the American fans get every rock band coming through town. They get it more often. We're over in Europe. I think some of the fans are a little bit more rabid and a little bit more crazier at times because they don't get us as often. So when you have a big festival over there, a lot of that too has to do with just huge lineups and the festivals there. You'll have Metallica and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and all the the classic metal bands there and just huge lineup of bands. And I don't know, like I said, I think with everybody going there for those festivals and them not getting it as often, they get a little bit nuttier,
And I interviewed John, your bass player, a couple months ago, right when Mayhem was announced, and he said American fans are a little bit better looking.
Well, it depends. It depends. Definitely better look. I don't want to name which countries have some frightening, women. They're great fans, but then again, I guess to give them a little bit of credit, maybe because they're camping out in tents for 3-day festivals and it's raining on and off, so some of them might look like drowned rats by the end. But some are better than others, so it's not all of them. There's definitely some areas where there's some very good-looking women, whether it be Sweden or Croatia or down the line. Then you're turning left to right because there's beautiful women everywhere out there. But I think the American fans, the women maintain themselves out here pretty well and shower maybe a little bit more frequently.
I'm a social media geek. I follow all the bands on Twitter, and Dave has been making a lot of people nervous, saying he's not sure what's going on with the band. It's known that you guys are taking a break. You guys have been in the machine for a while. What does he mean by you guys aren't sure? I know the break is there. Have you guys thought about doing solo stuff, or what's going on with that?
Nothing really. We just haven't discussed it, to be honest with you. I really don't know.
You guys can afford not to know. Asylum is your 4th #1 record in a row.
Yeah, that's a great accomplishment. We never thought that something like that would happen, and we're not going to just kind of try to put out another album right away to try to achieve that goal of trying to aim for 5th. It'll come when it comes, and right now we just don't know. At this point, we're doing this tour. We're going to do South America for the first time of like 4 shows over there, and that's really all we talked about. So we haven't even discussed anything after that.
There are a lot of bands that would give everything to have that choice to just take a break, but you guys deserve it. You've been working hard for your entire career.
It's not that we're we're tired of it either.
Yeah.
We don't know what it's like to take a break, and because we've been nonstop even as a local band before we got signed. So it's really hard to say. I can't really predict because I don't know what it would be like to go home and then not plan for another tour or plan for the studio. It might be a shock to the system there because it's something new for us. So, like I said, we really haven't discussed where do we go from there. So we just said, let's just focus on these 2 tours we got coming, and then that's it.
Now that work ethic, Disturbed has one of the best work ethics out of any band, and any of you guys could be the spokesperson for the band. A lot of bands have one guy that they put out on the microphone all the time, but you, John, and Dave, I see in interviews all the time. How much do you think that adds to the success of the band?
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of bands maybe at our level that have been around for 10 years or more, sometimes they might not do as much press, and we still have been pretty accommodating and continue to do plenty of press. If people are interested in the band and we're doing well, then we want to give them information they want to hear about. So we always try to keep that close contact of just staying in touch with the fans the best we can.
Nice. Now, what can you tell us about Art of Dying?
Great band. I found them a few years ago. They're based out of Vancouver. A friend of mine gave me their demo. It's probably been at least 4 years ago, if not more. And I just thought that they're just straight up rock band, just very catchy songs. Yeah. I got in touch with the singer, just talking to him, was trying to figure out a chance to try to go see them, to check them out live. And with us touring and always being gone, it just seemed very difficult to just get on a plane and go to Vancouver because we were in the middle of a touring cycle at the time. So we said, let's just bring them out and have them open for us. We had a 2-week run or something like that. I think it was last album cycle. So we're like, let's bring them out and see how they do in front of our fan base, and really put them to the test. You're throwing a Canadian band in front of an American audience that knows nothing about that band, and really threw them into the fire, and they rose to the challenge. Before you knew it, they were starting to win over the fans and making a name for themselves. So we were able to sign them to our imprint deal that me and David have through Warner Brothers called Intoxication Records, and made an album. It was a lengthy process of just all the red tape of trying to get record deals these days, and in an industry that's been kind of a sinking ship, and just trying to keep their head above water in the struggles of downloading and everything else. But Warner Brothers heard it. They liked the material. We were able to do the album. I produced 5 of the songs on the album, and I'm proud of the guy. I feel like a big brother to them. So they're a hard-working band, and that's what really a big thing we were looking for. First of all, a band that could write great songs, and second of all, a band that lives the lifestyle, and that you can throw them in a van, give them a case of beer and their guitars, and they're the happiest guys ever. That's all they want to do, and I like that attitude of, it's not thinking, hey, I've met guys from Disturbed, so put us in a tour bus and, give us a big budget and this and that. Like I said, they're happy with the simple things, as long as they're the beer drinking Canadians. So you give them a case of beer and they'll be happy with that,
And it's good to see Bush and the folks at Warner Brothers actually have to work for their money now. I mean, they've got you guys, they've got Avenged, and Art of Dying is just like they're the smallest band on the label, but they seem to be making a huge impression. We definitely love them at KCLB. You guys did a kick-ass job. One last thing. When is the last time anybody in Disturbed had to buy a concert ticket? And what was the band, if you remember?
Let me think about this. That's a tough one. I mean, I guess that's a nice perk of being in a band that's been successful this long, is that we know a lot of the crew guys, so when some of the crew guys aren't working with us, they ended up, working for other crews. So, I mean, there's usually almost somebody we know at every tour, every concert. So, it's a nice little benefit to it all. What can I say? I can't even think the last time I bought one. I just went and seen Motley Crue the other day and in Chicago, and that was great. And the good thing there was our production manager is now their production manager. He's worked for them, so that was my easy in there. So I was lucky enough to get in there before the show and sit on Tommy Lee's kit, the roller coaster kit, before the show and stuff. So
that thing is amazing.
I didn't get to take it for a ride, so I guess beggars can't be choosers. I got to go up there and sit on it and have my photo opportunity there. But it was cool. It was a great concert. I'll go out in front and sit and watch the show out front. I may not have to pay for my tickets, but I'm still a fan, and I'll go out front and watch the show. I don't need to be side stage. I mean, it's nice for some people, but I want to hear the show. I want to see the show, especially with something with production like that. You got to see it out front, you know. So.
Exactly. Okay, I lied. One more question. What is your road crew and your production people, what's their first reaction when you say, hey, this is what we want our stage show to look like? Is it complete dismay? Are they broken down?
I mean, all we could do is, you know, visualize an idea or something and use some of their guidance and their expertise to make sure that we can keep it within a budget. You know, you definitely, there's nothing wrong with aiming high and trying to, you know, put on a big show, but give the fans their money's worth. But you know, they got to do the math and crunch the numbers and make sure that at the end of the day that it's going to make sense. You don't want to be digging in your pocket at the end of a tour and then realize that it just costs you something. You know, we got bills, you know, to pay too. So they, you know, they're the ones that at least keep the reality in all of it and make sure that we can pull off, you know, something that's reasonable and still, you know, afford to do that.
That's Dan, guitarist in Disturbed. First date of the Mayhem Fest about to start right now. Thanks for watching on KCLB Rocks.